boxing.
Yeah. Where you from?
My family's from Somerville. I moved to Chelsea when I was around 9,
Wow.
10. So I'm from Chelsea. I say Chelsea, but just
You know the boxing club there in Chelsea?
yes. So John Ruiz actually my John Ruiz was my football coach, and
Yeah. My
obviously.
dad was a pretty famous boxer in the 30s, and so and then there's the gym in Somerville. I used to take my kid to the boxing gym in Somerville.
Yep. Yep, that's so that's where all the magic happened. That was the first, I think John Ruiz is the first Latin American heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
So, and he was a great football coach, you know.
Yeah, too, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
so I think that we're live. I just gotta tag everybody. So give me a second.
You just hated me a minute ago.
For what? All right, let's see. Ferullo. How do you spell your last name? Let me see. Are you under Michael or Mike?
It's Michael Ferullo.
Okay.
Are you looking for my email or no?
No, I'm looking to tag you on this, but it's not popping up.
Tag me, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it too, Jeff.
Tag me. I don't know.
To tag you on Facebook.
Under Mike Ferullo.
Oh, Mike.
Mike.
I can give you the Facebook as the Bulldogs.
We can tag it on that too.
All right, you know what you're doing.
Tag him everywhere.
All right, happy Sunday Night Live with Coach Mike Ferullo from the Bulldogs and Conan Langlois.
Langlois.
What is it?
Langlois.
Okay, thank you. I butcher everybody's name on here. So Greater Waltham Recovery Solution mission is to connect those with substance use disorder to recovery treatment services. Additionally, we offer scholarships to safe and effective sober living, educate the public through community outreach, and help veterans access premier quality treatment. Our organization embraces cultural diversity and is inclusive of every race, religion, sexual orientation, veteran status, socioeconomic background, disability, and age group. So there you have it. So we can start off, and first, if we want to mention the other members of our team, Richie.
Yes. So our board members.
We'll go with the board members and then go from there.
Yeah, sometimes I miss people just because our board, we have our board's amazing. I really love our board. Deb, I have so much love and respect for Deb, Jules, Mike, you, Jessica, Kim, who else? One more.
Mandy McGowan.
Mandy, Linda, and one more.
Kara,
yes. That's our wolf pack right there. We really just a lot like Michael and his team. We really are. We love service. We love to serve our community. And this is what we do to raise money. None of this money goes in our pockets. We're not going to jump into a Lamborghini after this.
Nope.
We use all of the proceeds. It goes back into the community in which we love. For one of our greatest resources right now is our recovery coach resource. It's a free resource. So if anybody would like a recovery coach or are interested or just wants to be uneducated on what a recovery coach actually is, I think they should reach out to one of us, because like I said, it's a free service. We don't charge money for it. I think everybody could use a coach, no pun intended, coach. Also, it's great. It's a great resource just of, families. Sometimes it's hard to navigate health insurance and, certain new language we have in the community, and, treatment and detoxes. It's really hard to navigate that. Like I would suggest for anybody watching, if they need any help with anything, we're all more than happy to serve.
And before I spin the wheel and do Vanna White for the night, we have a couple of comments already. So let's see. So Nelson K said, "Hello, Mike. Great to see you."
Oh, hello, Nelson.
Jackie Zimmerman said, "Good evening, Mike."
Yeah.
So another one. Jessica Moran said, "He's Mike on Facebook." Thank you. I was having a little trouble. I was putting in Michael. Colleen Trainer Perez says, "Happy Valentine's Day from the Dominican Republic." Happy Valentine's Day, Colleen.
Dominican Republic. Woo.
Bring us back some warm weather. Megan O'Sullivan said these two guys, and clap, 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 clap. We'll give a clap, clap, clap for Megan too.
That's right.
Let's see. Raina Elena Zaporetsky said hello. And Deborah Crystal said hi, coach.
Oh, hi. Hi,
Okay, so now let's spin the wheel. Where is it? I can find the wheel. Okay. So, Richie, do you want to explain the wheel?
Can you do it? You do a better job doing it than me.
Okay, so we are asking for donations for our Dollars for Angels, and our angels are people that need to be like who are still out there struggling. And so what we do to kind of make it fun is we pick a number, or I don't pick a number, the wheel picks a number, and we ask anyone out there watching if they can donate. And this money is going to scholarships for safe and effective and reputable sober living. And because our motto is we never want to have to say no. Anyone that comes to us for a scholarship, we never want to say no. So we'll spin the wheel. So we got off a little, anyone that wants to, donate $2. The Venmo is being shared right there. And you can donate more, you can donate less, and it's all going to scholarships for sober living.
Can you donate after this?
Yeah. You can. We're always taking donations through Venmo, or if someone wants to reach out to us that doesn't have a Venmo and wants to send us, a check or anything like that. Another way to donate, we can figure it out. Just message the page. And all of our services that we are currently doing are free. So like Richie said, that money's not going towards us. That money is going so that we can scholarship anyone who comes across us to sober living. But connecting people into treatment, recovery coaching, family consultant, all that stuff is free of charge. And that's the spiel on that. Raina said hello. Raina said, hi, Jessica, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Jim said, Richie, great to see you, I think he said. Pam McCourt said, hi, Mike, you are our hero.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So now we can kind of go into it. If you want to tell us a little bit about how the Bulldogs was started, a little bit about the Bulldogs, a little bit about.
Well, let's tell us a little bit about yourself, Coach. How did you? Yeah, what was like childhood like? Because we got a whole hour to kill, and I'm interested. Selfishly, Coach, I'm interested. What was childhood like? And we can work our way up a little bit.
Oh, that's a pretty loaded question. I grew up in Boston. My parents were from the North End. My father was a pretty well-known boxer. I grew up, with a lot of love, but there were a lot of issues going on in my family. My dad had his struggles being a boxer for many years. And, I was the youngest. So he was training one of the fighters at the time who became the world, Tony DeMarco from the North End became the middleweight champion of the world. So he wasn't always able to be available to me. And I think that was part of what was going on. And then probably a little ADHD. And then we moved to Hyde Park, and that's when I got myself in trouble with drugs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was, it was in the late 60s. So I was pretty young. And there wasn't too many kids my age going crazy. And I dropped out of school in the 8th grade. And from then it was sort of downhill, my progression was pretty rapid, which was a blessing in disguise. But if someone was to ask me, what was I like before I finally got sober? What was I good at? If somebody was really to say what I was good at, I would have to say I was good at giving up.
Wow.
It wasn't something that, I was just in a place where that's all I could do was react, and run. So now since I've been sober, it's not been like that, which is what recovery is. The first principle of the Bulldogs is self-leadership, putting real effort into our wellness, into our recovery. So it's about not giving up. But that was the way I lived my life. If I didn't want to be in school, I'd leave. It was just one giving up moment after another. And I paid a great price for it.
How did you get into recovery, coach? What was that transition like? Like what led you to recovery?
A lot of things came into place at the end. I had been in a lot of rehabs. I won't get into it. I was in jail. I was actually a patient in Waltham State Hospital. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't that I was crazy, but there weren't many drug programs around at the time. And my father brought me to the Chelsea courthouse to scare me. And I was just a kid, and I was so frightened being there that they thought something was wrong with me, and they sent me there for 30 days. I got out in 2 weeks. But, I think at the end, it was a combination of me being done. I was ready. And life is a mystery. Like I said, a lot of things came into place. It wasn't just me doing it all. Like I said, it was a little bit of luck too. When I was in this particular therapeutic community, you had to be voted in. If you left, you had to come back and sort of say, I want to be voted in. I was in there so many times. The last time it was a 6-5 vote. And that one person gave me a chance. And if that didn't happen, I can tell you I wouldn't be here right now. And there was a lot of other things that I think just fell into place. When I was there, there was a group of guys there that were happy. They were enjoying their recovery. They were having fun. And I said, I want that. And I think that's an important part of recovery. It wasn't just, I didn't want to continue to go down the bad road anymore, that negative road of addiction. I was miserable. And I saw these guys coming to work every day. They were drug counselors, and they went through the program, and they looked good. They had nice cars. And I said, I want that. And they kind of took me under their wing. And back in the day, you were there for 6 months, and then you spent 3 months in a halfway house, that was another thing. Now, today, I don't know if I would have been able to make it based on my personality in terms of the availability of drugs and the way the whole system is set up now. I needed long-term treatment, and the therapeutic community provided that for me.
Wow. Amazing. Man, it's so much there. So many questions I want to ask you, because I could hear you speaking clinically almost a little bit, but not really. I hear a clinical, sense there. What got you into like chasing some credentialing wise?
Well, when I graduated the program, I had no skills. I didn't want to go back to the street. I didn't even want to leave the program. And I liked the groups. I liked helping people. So they made you wait about 6 months before you could apply to be a drug counselor. So I became a drug counselor. And then I realized we were doing all the paraprofessionals, the guys in recovery, the women, we were doing all the work. And the psychiatrists and the psychologists were getting all the money. And I said, I'm done with that, man. I'm going back to school. And it was a long road. I was in school for 8 years. Like I said, I was an 8th grade dropout. And I was fortunate. I got a lot of support. And I ended up getting my master's in social work in 1982.
Wow.
So now what, if for the people who don't know, what is a therapeutic community?
Ah. It's kind of hard to explain. It's basically, well, the one I was in was a combination of what we call a medical model. There were psychiatrists and psychologists there, but we were expected to take full responsibility for ourselves in the program. You know, we ran the groups. If we messed up, it was you had to go back from the beginning. So it was a very disciplined program. But basically, we ran the program, which from that model, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, but from that model, I've put together this leadership program for the Bulldogs. Yeah, so it was basically, like we all had a sort of a leadership position. We were all helping one another stay sober.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one aspect of it.
So how long after you got sober was the Bulldogs created? And
Oh, boy. Oh boy. So I started volunteering at the Shattuck Hospital and at the Pine Street Inn in 2008. I would go there every Saturday because I wanted to bring exercise and wellness into the clinical and recovery community because it helped me so much.
Okay.
And so I enjoyed going. It was kind of like going back to my neighborhood, because one of the things that I was able to do, not everybody can do this, is when I got clean, I never went back to where I grew up. I never hung around. It was a really transformation for me to find out who I was. I was no longer a troubled teen. I no longer was a drug addict. I knew I couldn't go back to my neighborhood because it was more than just addiction. It was a whole criminal element to it. So I just abandoned that and started fresh. And I don't believe I would have been able to stay sober if I was still hanging out, or if I went back to hanging out with people I grew up with.
Yeah.
That's me. I couldn't do it. And the other thing is, people I got sober with, we hung out together, we ran together, we were similar to what the AA model. And back in the day, to be honest with you, I didn't even know there was an NA. I don't think there was, but also we weren't welcomed in AA. If you were a heroin addict, you weren't really welcome. So I would have went to AA or NA if it was more inclusive of the way it is now.
Right. And also, I feel bad, Conan, if you want to jump in at any time.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask Conan a question.
I know. Why don't we introduce who our other person is on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Conan,
How you doing?
how did you meet Coach?
So I was at a halfway house in Dorchester called the Interim House back in about a year ago, right around now, about a year ago. And a guy named Ken Newman, who had been involved with the Bulldogs recently, like maybe years before, whatever, had told me about it because I was always going to the gym. I just started getting in the gym again and running on my own at the halfway house. And he's like, I think you really would be interested in meeting these people. And he told me about him for like a month. This isn't like December. And then I actually bumped into another one of my running. He's on my team. His name's Tim at High Five Pizza in Dorchester. And he had a Bulldogs jacket on. I'm like, oh, you run with them? I heard about him. And he's like, yeah. And it was a Friday. He's like, well, why don't you go tomorrow morning? And I just showed up that Saturday morning. Been going every Saturday since.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Really like touches my soul. So I just a really quick thing about me, because I feel very connected to you guys in this sense where like I sat on a clinical meeting one time, Coach, just as a just as a behavioral tech there, no credentials at all. And I realized something is I cared the most about the people we were trying to help. And because the clinical team was always trying to kick people out for their behaviors. And it was so strange to me. It's like they were there for that reason. And then I really had no voice. And so ever since that day, I said, that'll never happen again. I'll never care the most about our people and not have a voice. So since then I have I have KDAC hours. I'm ready. I just, I got my KDAC hours. I'm KDAC ready. I got my LADAC. I'm a recovery coach, certified recovery coach in the state of Massachusetts. I'm a recovery coach supervisor. I supervise in in recovery court. I also work for Malden, the Department of Public Health. But my greatest piece of advice, guys, Conan and Coach, is the medicine is in the movement. That's like anything clinical. I'll tell you, I get this might not be the most clinical thing, but there's medicine and movement. And the quickest way to get out of a depression is to take like physical action. So I feel, that's the advice I say all the time, like along with clinical stuff. But I'll tell you, getting out there and running and just moving around can really get you out of the funk the quickest. So I'm really, really happy to hear this.
So I'm going to read a couple questions, and just a reminder, our Dollars for Angels, the wheel spun at $2. So if you only want to donate $2, if you want to like triple that, and what is that, $6 or double it and $20, feel free. But that was the magic number tonight. The Venmo was, I think, to my this way. It's at Recovery Solutions. And if you need the PIN code, it's 0143. Which is perfect because 143 is like the code for love, and today's Valentine's Day, even though that code doesn't change ever. A couple comments. Tobin Brown said, "What's up, Richie Evans?"
My guy, love you.
Olga Anna Gomez said, "Hi, everyone." Hi, Olga. Thank you for tuning in every week. Colleen Trainer Perez said, "Wow," about listening to your story. Debbie Marshall, Perocho Duke said, "Hello." Jim Halpin said, "This Trio House alumni has mad respect for Mike Ferullo. He was key to my own recovery. God bless you, Mike."
Thank you.
Derek Mozak said, "Conan, my man."
Yes.
Let's see. Jackie Zimmerman said, "Mike had a huge impact on me growing up, and we are so blessed he is here sharing his story." Trish Pelletier said, "Good to see you, Mike. Thanks for all you do. You got my Gina through Watertown High. I will be forever grateful. Thanks." Miss Megan O'Sullivan said that I guess you were 100 years sober when you started the Bulldogs.
No way.
Miss Megan.
So the Bulldogs wouldn't be where it is today. We have over close to 300 members. We have a lot of different chapters. We have one in Quincy that Megan is the running coordinator. We have one in Brighton, one in Natick, one in even Chicago, and one in Plymouth. But Megan is the leadership coordinator, and she's been with me from the beginning. When she first started, we sort of put the program together, but she called me and was saying, "I don't know, what do I do? I don't run that much." And I said, "Just show up." I didn't want to, I was probably busy.
Right.
And that's what she did. She kept showing up, and now she basically is a key leader in the whole program. So that's a good shout out to my girl Megan.
I give a shout out too because she's my coworker. So big shout out to Megan.
Right. But so I got sober. It's been a long, long time. And like I said, running played a big part in my recovery and staying fit. And, I just say one thing about it. So getting sober is one thing. Recovery is another thing. Learning to live life, find out who you are, to be able to engage in a life that has meaning and purpose, and to find what I call the kind-hearted warrior that resides in you. And the thing is that with the Bulldogs, I think people who continue to show up and practice our second principle, which is transparency. We offer mindfulness meditation. We ask people to look inward, to be honest with themselves. And then the third principle is the giving back. And in order for someone to go through be in the leadership program, they engage in what we have as the Full Circle program. I'm going to ask Conan to talk about it because Conan participated in, that's another important part of our Bulldogs is our Full Circle program. But the point I was making is we wouldn't have this success if people weren't committed to helping themselves and helping one another. The combination of showing up, taking full responsibility for your own wellness, your own recovery, And community is key, as you know that, because you guys are involved in, community, and you're doing amazing stuff here, wanting to help people. You know the power of that. But I'd like Conan to be able to talk about the Full Circle program and his participation in it, what it meant. And Conan, could you talk a little bit about the community aspect?
Sure. So yeah, so I guess like I said, I started running in February, started showing up obviously, and then kind of COVID hit. So our group runs kind of shut down for a while. So that community thing really wasn't like, we weren't showing up to meet and get that whole like network and fellowship in person, but through like Zoom and stuff like this, we continue to like keep in touch with everybody. And then obviously I found out about the Full Circle, and coach has those three principles. The first one, which is self-leadership, just show up, just always doing the next right thing. The second one is transparency, taking a look inside myself, finding out about myself, who I am, what my authenticity is. And the third part of it is just giving back, which I come to find out, like, the more esteemable acts you do, the more self-esteem I build, which in return actually makes me feel good, So yeah, so going through those, I started to find out about the Full Circle, which is you just kind of set some personal goals, whether it's run faster, and for most people, that's what it is. They just want to run faster. They want to get quicker. But for me, my brain goes a mile a minute. I can run fast. All those things were easy for me. But what was hard for me is to relax a little and take it slow. So actually I set my goals in the other way. I wanted to run slower and learn to like control myself. Because like when I would get out there and run, I would just run as fast as I could every single time. And that's not good. It's not sustainable. So I set those goals for myself on the first Full Circle and accomplished those. I ran slower and then continued to, do all these principles and live by this way of life, this like what coach was just talking about, this overall wellness and recovery, which honestly just changed my life. And literally it gave me like a new way of life. Like you said, I finally learned how to live. Because for a long time, 30 plus years, I started using at like 12 and got sober at 41 for the first time. I didn't know how to live. I didn't really know how to pay bills. I didn't know how to even like show up to work every day. I never really worked. So I'm finally like getting myself involved in my own well-being and stuff. And with this program and following people like coach with this self-leadership and seeing people around me that are living a certain type of way. And I actually wanted that happiness, gave me hope that I actually could have it. And so I continued on to the second Full Circle. I finished that. And then through that, now I'm part of the leadership program and I'm a wellness sponsor.
Awesome. Hey, Conan, what is a goal as a runner that you have achieved? Like, I guess, like your longest distance you ran or anything in between that? Like, what is your greatest goal as a runner that you achieved?
I don't know. There hasn't really been any races or anything yet since I started really running. I was an athlete my whole life. I played a lot of sports my whole life, was really good. So as far as like running, I guess the best one I accomplished was learning how to run slow and actually buying into it and believing it, because like these guys were telling me like to get faster, you got to run slow. And I'm like, you're crazy.
Right.
How does that even work? But like it actually did work. So I guess that's probably my best accomplishment so far, was making that goal and actually sticking to it and following through with the commitment.
That's so interesting, because normally you think you run to run fast, and you're right. You're right, because when you're running, you're just going right off of adrenaline.
Yeah.
You're just trying to sprint and run as fast. I can't run, period. I don't know how Megan gets it. She gets up at like some ungodly hour to run in like the snow and the rain and the wind. And I have a couple other of my friends that are part of the Bulldogs now, and they're always out running like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, wow, that's good for them.
So most of them didn't run. Megan, Conan was an athlete for years, and that's what sort of drew him to the Bulldogs. But most people that start, they're out of shape, they smoke,
Yeah.
they haven't had any running experience. You don't have to be a runner. We have a running program. We coach. When you enter into the Full Circle, you sign up for a 5K. That's 3.21 miles. You get a sponsor, you get coaching, and you make a commitment to show up every week. You make a commitment to be sober. So it helps people in early recovery be sober and show up. And then afterwards, you can, Full Circle 2 is a 10K, that's 6 miles. But we have walkers. It's really much more than a running club. We use running as a way to be together and to feel better. So that's important to understand. The other important thing I was saying, I lost my point, I apologize. Recovery is stressful.
Yep.
Okay. when you're engaging in trying to get on with your life and repair the past and move forward and accomplish goals, and it can be what I call necessary suffering, legitimate, good trouble, as John Lewis, the politician, the spiritual leader, calls it. Now that creates stress. Now what stress can do is it can really interfere with that front part of our brain, which helps us with judgment, not being impulsive, being rational. But when we're stressed, it clouds that. And that's when we're at risk for running away, for being impulsive, being reactive. If we engage in exercise, that makes us feel better. It almost lifts that cloud that's in front of this part of the brain. And we feel better mentally, emotionally, right? And especially if we're running with other people. So we have to have a way to deal with the stress of doing things right. Like when I was in college, that was probably the most stressful time in my life. I didn't feel like I belonged there. I had to learn the basics. Now, I hung in there because I could run and I could ask for help, which we know is important. So we have to have a way to deal with stress and to deal with the challenge of recovery. And exercise and community makes us feel supported and helps us not relapse and helps us realize our potential. Because when you set a goal and you feel like you can't do it, and you do it, you start thinking like, shit, man, I can do it. I can do that. Maybe I can go back to school. I ran my first marathon in 1976, and that made me feel like, God, maybe I can do this and maybe I can do that. So I think Conan will speak to that, because not only is Conan excelling physically, he'll probably be running a marathon with us in October, but he's also working on finding out who he is.
Right.
And looking not at who he thought he was and who he was conditioned to be. He's looking deeply inside himself and he's realizing that's not who I was. He's willing to start to unloosen the knots in his heart and start to feel more comfortable in his own skin and start to feel like he doesn't need those defenses of pushing people away. I'm sorry to be analyzing you, Conan, but I want Conan to talk about that, because that's really the heart of recovery.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, for a long time, I was never vulnerable. I grew up my family's Japanese, so we keep like literally everything internal. Like, nobody knows nothing about what goes on in my house. Nobody's allowed to know. And at a young age, I really learned that, like, once you let people in, they can really hurt you. And that happened growing up as a kid with my father and growing up in that life. So like, literally since I was 4 years old, I can remember just like, that's it. No one's ever getting in me because no one's ever going to hurt me again. So until I turned 41 and got sober, for a long time, I honestly used to think I was like a sociopath. I never really felt guilty, never had a conscience, never like really cared, never loved anybody. And it's really because I just didn't know how to love, for one, and never really thought that I knew what love was. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, now working with Coach for a long time now, for the past year, like taking that look and being transparent and looking within myself and trying to find out who my authenticity is. And it's come to find out that I do love, and I have a lot of self-compassion today for myself and self-empathy. And through like learning to love myself and having compassion and empathy for myself, I can actually put it out there in the world and have empathy for everyone else, all my brothers and sisters in Christ out there. So for me, it's really been a crazy ride this past year. It's all happened like so fast. I feel like my life is changing every day. I'm finding more and more about me. And it really started when I met that man, because like he said to me, he's like, started telling me all this stuff. And I'm just like, nah, people aren't like that. Like in my life where I grew up, nobody does anything for nothing. Right. It's always costing me something, whether it's heartache or money or friendships or trust, betraying my trust or my loyalty. Like nobody ever did anything without some fine line behind it, some type of condition. conditional friendship or whatever it was. And like, he just continued to call me every week, like he said he would. And finally, after like 6-7 weeks, I'm like, all right, maybe this dude's for real, you know? And I started to like practice what he was telling me to do and work with him and like get more vulnerable with him and like letting him in to see who I really am. And it actually was like it's just such a blessing today, because I honestly don't think I'd be here without him.
Hey, Conan, this all makes sense to me. You got the soul of a samurai. I actually lived in Japan, and I love, one of my favorite places in the whole entire world is Japan. I got a really good sense of the samurai culture, just the culture there. So I definitely see what you're saying. I lived in Roppongi for a while, actually, and I really so in love with the Japanese culture. It's so amazing. What I love to hear about what you're saying, Conan, it's like we have, like in recovery, we have a support network, but what you and Coach are talking about, like in running, you guys also have a support network, which is really cool. I really love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so through isolation, we suffer, right? We know that, right?
Yeah.
And
The opposite of addiction is connection, which we always love to say on here. You
through
know,
connection, we heal. And the importance of learning, most of us have some sort of trauma. You know, we get sober and we don't feel good about ourselves. We can't trust people.
right?
It's learning to begin to see things differently and learn not to believe everything you think about yourself and about others, and to learn that you can feel safe with people. It's really important for us that when people join the Bulldogs, that they know that they're going to be supported, they're not going to be judged. As long as it's a collaboration. I don't believe we can fix anybody. People have to, even no matter how frightened they are, they have to show up.
Yeah.
They have to do what they want to do, what they have to do, not what they want to do. Once they show up, we create the holding environment. You know, we'll do anything. We provide running gear for people. They'll get a sponsor, like Conan was saying. So the community, along with people beginning to challenge the narrative they have about themselves. I can't do this. You know, I don't want to try this. I might fail. People don't, the thing that I found out about myself is I have unlimited potential, and we all do. People that are out there that are trying to get sober, please don't give up. All you have to do is be sober 24 hours, show up. You don't have to run, you can walk. But you might have failed a lot, like I did, but it doesn't mean that you have to continue to fail. It's really, really important that you don't understand, you don't have a clue about your potential. I'm no special guy, I'm no genius. You know, I was blessed with this idea of once I was done, I was done. I didn't want to go back to the life. I just stayed with it.
Right.
I'm blessed. I had a lot of support. And I think one of the gifts that the Bulldogs experience is they're starting to experience their potential. What I call that kind-hearted warrior. They're starting to realize that they can be connected to other people. They can even be connected to their own emotions. They don't have to run away. You know, they can feel their feelings. They can talk about their feelings. They don't have to believe these negative thoughts. And they can get on with their life, and they can get you can have what you really want to have in your life. But you have to show up. You have to put the work into it. And you have to understand that nobody is going to fix you.
So a couple comments about that. So Matthew Ford Zimmerman said, Mike Ferullo saved my life.
Wow.
And then Nelson Case said, Mike saved my life too. Megan O'Sullivan said, love you both. I don't know if that's to me and you or you and Conan, but I'm going to say that it's to myself and one of you. Tara Miller said, Coach helped me through the darkest period in my life a few months ago. His support of the Bulldogs' wellness is incredible. Love you, Coach. Hi, Conan. Craig Baker said, you are as solid as a rock, Conan.
In more ways than one.
Mark Rayburn said, chase that slow-briety. Plenty of walkers and amblers with the Bulldogs.
Yep.
And Craig Baker said, I can attest to, through isolation, we suffer.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned showing up, do you mean, oh, and also before I forget, again, our magic number tonight was 2. You guys got off a little bit easy tonight. So if you want to donate the Venmo, I hope I'm pointing to the right direction. I'm trying to see if I am. That's our Venmo at Recovery Solutions. The code is 0143. And this money does not go to my pocket, doesn't go to Richie's pocket. It goes to scholarshiping our angels to safe, reputable, sober living. So we're, oh my God, sorry, my dog is just barking to get out. So we are trying to, we vet sober living, and people can apply for our scholarship, and we want to have the funds to never have to say no to people.
Veterans, don't forget veterans.
Veterans, and that's another big thing. It's a big thing to Richie. It's a big thing, for myself, for my friend Mike who died, that any veteran that, is seeking treatment, if we can't find a good reputable place that takes their insurance, we want to be able to scholarship them into good treatment, to give back to those who have given so much to us.
Yeah. Mike, you got like the motivational, speaking of a Marine. I ran for the first time in maybe a week or so ago, just on the motive. My brother Marine called over to check in on me, and he's an amputee, and he runs marathons, he does CrossFit, he does a lot of like physical activities. And he called me up, he said, hey, Devil Dog, how's everything going? Just really small talk. And he says, hey, you PTing, you need the PT more. Are you running it all? I said, no, brother, I got all this, I'm the director of a treatment center. I'm doing a lot of, we just opened a detox. I'm doing a lot of like service with the homeless right now. I'm like, I really don't have time, brother. And a little bit of small talk, and then we hang up. And about 5 minutes later, he sent me a picture of his prosthetic leg. And he said, hey, Devil Dog, we're all out of excuses over here. And I said, damn, and I got my my sauna suit on and my running suit. I just took off. Coach, can you describe, and Conan could, or maybe it might be different for you. Can you guys describe like runner's high? Because I know that's what I get.
Yeah. So let me just say one thing. I think one of the things that Conan's starting to realize, and that the Bulldogs in general starting, when they really engage in their wellness, is they're realizing their goodness that resides within themselves. And I'm looking at the 3 of you, and I'm seeing your goodness and your sincerity. And I want you to realize that, that you both, all 3 of you, Conan knows that I tell him all the time that he's a softie, that he wants to be loved, that, he doesn't need to be the hard guy. He doesn't need to prove anything. Just keep your heart open and be kind. And he practices that. And that's hard to do, man. But what I'm saying to you 2 guys is, do you realize how your own goodness and kindness, and you just seem like you're really both enjoying your recovery, and that's key. Is that, I don't know if you're sober, I should assume
Spot on, Coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's an example of what we're doing. You show up every day, you challenge yourself, you stay connected, you utilize your recovery tools. We always have to stay constant in using our tools. I got off the spinning bike today. I was a little stressed out about something. That runner's high it's there because that's what kind of, I was always the kind of person that was looking to feel good. I wanted to look good, to feel good. That was my whole thing. I had ADHD. And when I ran, one day I ran 2 miles in Fresh Pond in Cambridge, and I went, holy shit, I feel good. I didn't think it was like a high, but it lifted my mood. It made me feel like I looked good, because where I grew up, it was how you looked, Right. You could have a cord in your pocket, but if you had a nice outfit on, you look sharp, that's what mattered. But it made me feel like I looked good. I felt good. I was able to go to class and be less anxious, So while you're running, it takes a while to actually get that runner's high while you're running, to feel, I remember transforming to being from a jogger to a runner, where your body gets acclimated to running. There's a little bit of an adjustment there, but after a while, like Conan can go out and run 15 miles and enjoy it.
This is making me want to run, and I don't
What
run.
I'm saying is you start off where you're at.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that, again, we want to help people get sober. We want to help people. We want to provide a community to people where they can feel safe and they can start to engage in their fitness and wellness. That's all you have to do is show up. We take you where you're at. Like we have one. I'm thinking of, well, there's so many of them, but Ashley was one of she ran the marathon, the Boston Marathon, which was virtual. But when she showed up, when Megan brought her, she was smoking. We have a reservoir we run in Chester Hill. Richie, it's 1.5 miles. She ran, I think it was like maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes. She stopped and had a cigarette.
That's what I would do.
I can't do this.
Yep.
And Megan said, just keep running. Then she stopped again and had a cigarette.
Yeah.
I think a year later, I don't know how long later, she's training. She's running the Boston Marathon for the Boston Bulldogs. So that's what I'm saying. And for Conan to say, I can actually trust people. I realize that, I don't have to be the person I was. I can be kind. I can extend myself. I don't know, Conan, you know what I'm saying to you, right, brother?
Of course.
I know Ashley, so she's another one of my fabulous coworkers, her
Yeah.
and Megan, and that gives me hope because I'm a smoker. That gives, because you go right in your head that I can't do that.
That's the narrative.
Yeah.
So part of the second principle I teach meditation twice a week, and we learn to witness and understand what's happening in our mind. And we learn not to engage and believe everything we think.
Yeah.
We learn to let go of things or thoughts that are harmful. So that's the key, is for to realize that, like I said, sky's the limit, and it's all you have to do is you need courage. And people worry about being judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you show up at the Bulldogs, we're so excited that you're there. It doesn't matter that you smoke or you're out. We're just excited. We want to support you. And we just ask you to keep showing up. And I'll just say one thing. The coach used to smoke 2 packs of Pall Mall unfiltered cigarettes, along with a lot of other things that the coach smoked. So that was, I think that I never thought I would get over the cravings for cigarettes. Cigarettes are hard, but
Yeah.
we want to reach as many people as we can. We want to let people know through wellness and through our principles and through practicing the 3 areas of development, which is physical, mental, and social. You can grow and you can become the person you really, really want to be.
So let's see. Craig Baker said, I don't know if I already read this one. I can attest to through isolation we suffer.
Yeah, you read that one.
I read that one. So Casey Craig said, Navy aircrew vet here, 6 years sober.
Woo.
This is awesome. Thank you for your service work and military service. And that runner's high is a real thing for sure. Thank you for your service, Casey.
Thank you, yes.
Big thank you. She also said she runs for mental health, and it helps with her PTSD.
Yeah.
And Kevin Caprio said that he has not had a butt in 4 weeks. That's amazing.
My wolf right there.
That's awesome.
That's my wolf, Kevin Caprio.
Again, Dollars for Angels magic number was a nice 2, but you can donate as much as you want. The Venmo information is listed at Recovery Solutions. The PIN code is 0143.
I think a lot of people that I knew who got sober that are not here didn't die from drugs and alcohol. They died from smoking. They died from, their eating habits.
Yeah.
As long as they thought, as long as I'm sober and I'm working the program, I'm fine. We have to take care of our bodies. We have to take full responsibility for our bodies. And, so we can live longer, so we can feel better. The thing that I'm addicted to, it's not just running. I am addicted to being fit. I'm 72 years old.
Wow.
I still thrive on that feeling of being fit. And we are trying to use the Boston Bulldogs as a platform to the recovery in the clinical community to stress the importance of wellness and exercise. Listen, how many rehabs have you went to and the treadmills were in the basement?
Yeah.
And they talked about exercise, but you sat in meetings all day. When I went to the Shattuck and I went to the Pine Street, the guys would wait for me. And one of the reasons why, besides looking to get my swag, which I wouldn't give them until they proved that they were a runner, that they were really serious. But the thing is that they just wanted to get out of the building. They were in meetings all day, sitting down.
Yeah.
And then I got them out there 2 or 3 times a week exercising, and they started to feel better about themselves. And they started to realize. So I really am trying to take every opportunity, or all my leaders, we're all trying to take every opportunity to express to the clinical community that you must incorporate wellness and teach people the importance of honoring and taking care of their bodies. Am I making sense? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So where are you guys meeting now for anyone out there that wants?
Okay. So I want to say something about the leaders, because they run just like a family. See, when you have a family, everybody has a job, everybody contributes to a healthy family. The Bulldogs that are in the leadership are actually running the Bulldogs. We have Megan, who's a running coordinator at Quincy. So we run in Quincy. We have Jess and Will Diamond, who are coordinators in Brighton at the Reservoir in Chestnut Hill. We got Ashley, who's a running coordinator, and these are all people in the leadership program in Plymouth. And we have one in Natick with Angie, and we have one in Chicago. I'm probably missing one. But the idea is, the other thing I want to let people know is, as you work yourself going through the Full Circle program, you feel better because you're sober, you're showing up, you're getting support. And then once you get into the leadership, if you need it, you get a stipend for the job that you have.
Wow.
All the money that we get, I don't want to, I guess I'll brag a little bit. I've never taken a dime from the Bulldogs because service is the most important. I get more out of it. I was fortunate enough to be able to do this, and my wife and I. And by the way, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody, especially my wife. And today's my 33 wedding anniversary. Give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Shelly. So
My heart for the
anybody who comes in, we will support them as long as they keep doing what they got to do. And if they need to be if they want to be in our leadership program, we will provide a job for them and a stipend, so they have some money to get themselves on track.
That's incredible. So Craig Baker said that, come on, coach, you know that coffee is your master.
Mine too.
That's mine. Clearly it's mine.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's a little hobby of mine. Let's put it that way.
Derek Burns said he's been cigarette free for 3 weeks too. That's incredible. Like, that's, someone who has a hard
That's
time.
my wolf too. Derek's my wolf too.
I mean, if you're smoking, you need to confront that. If you're sober and you're doing well and you're smoking, you need to confront that. You need to get support on that, because that's.
I love it.
In the Bulldogs, I can see, I'm getting excited because we work from 2 frames: non-harm to ourselves and others. Our core values are kindness, generosity, goodwill. So it's very, very important that we work moment to moment to make sure that we're being self-compassionate and kind and tolerant and patient with ourselves and others, but also taking full responsibility for anything we're doing to ourselves that are harmful. So if you're engaging in any type of harmful behavior, that's going to interfere with your well-being and your recovery. And What do you think of that, Jess?
I mean, from someone who just had strep like yesterday, is getting over strep and feels like me smoking while having strep isn't a very good thing. I know you're right. You're right. You're getting me like maybe I should go start walking with the Bulldogs or
Yeah,
something.
you should.
Here we
Because
go.
I guarantee you in a year, you'll be in a place, I mean, that you won't even imagine. Like Megan is signed, ran a little bit before, but now Megan is running, I don't know, it's a 12th marathon, I don't remember. But she's actually training for a marathon in Ireland. She always wanted to run one there. She's running one there.
She's incredible.
Yeah, but listen, she's incredible because she works at it.
Yeah.
You know, she never realized, she told, I think it was Conan, that she always kind of settled for being a C student metaphorically.
Yeah.
And now through her sobriety and her work, she's realizing that she can be an A+ student, which is exactly what she's doing in every area of her life. You can see I'm pretty fond of Megan, but I'm fond of all my Bulldogs.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just using that as an example of if we continue to try to promote wellness for ourselves.
well, speak of that devil, Megan. She said, not obviously, I was just saying, like, because she just commented. Thank you. She said, thank you so much for having them on, Jess and Richie. We could never capture what Coach has done for so many in this hour. He's absolutely a cornerstone in many lives. And she said, Conan, so proud of you and your growth. I'm still working on slowing you down. Not an easy job. Well done to you both. Thank you, Megan. She's someone I look up to, you know, even in work. She's just incredible, you know.
Hey, are you guys familiar with David Goggins? I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask that. David Goggins, he runs like 40, he's a Navy SEAL, runs like 40 miles. He runs like an extra marathon when he runs.
Yeah, no, never heard of them.
Okay.
But back to the question, Jess, if you don't mind, real quick. So
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
meeting this Saturday for the first time in a couple months. I know you asked Coach that and you got a little off base there. So Saturday morning at 9 o'clock at the Res. Just to anybody out there, like if you never ran before, you just want to be part of a community, or you just want to support people in physical and mental addiction, feel free to come down. We'll be down there and we'd love to have you.
What, in near Chestnut Hill?
Chestnut Hill on Saturday morning at 9, yeah, at the Res.
I may or may not live in Newton, so I don't know how convenient that is.
Where do you live? Where do you live? Did you say Newton?
Yep.
That's like that is Newton. You better show up. I'm not looking for you. I'll call my Uncle Anthony. You know,
Run to our house. We'll just run to our house and get you.
we'll pull you out of bed.
We'll see. I know that a bunch of the Bulldogs, my friend Jim, who joined you guys, he's doing it like.
Jim is in the leadership program right now. He applied. He was accepted. He's got a couple of significant responsibilities. So yeah, Jim's a great guy.
So that's funny because Nelson Case just asked, how do we join? I see in-person running starts again 2:20.
Tell Nelson to show up.
Show up.
Yeah.
Suit up and show up.
So if you go to our website, bostonbulldogsrunning.com, all that information is there. You can also email me at bulldogsrunning@yahoo.com.
So I think Megan, which thank you so much, that was perfect. She just put it in the comments. So anyone that's looking for more information, it's right there, www.bostonbulldogsrunning.com. Let's see. So from Greater Waltham and from Jackie Zimmerman, happy anniversary, Mike and Shelly. We love you. And Mark Rayburn said it takes a village to slow down Conan. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Samurai, that's right.
Samurai. And then Linda, one of the members of our team, said exercise releases endorphins, and endorphins do make us happy. I know that from the movie Legally Blonde. Runner's High. I love the way you promote wellness, Coach. You got me feeling inspired to get moving. I know, me too, which takes a lot normally. Nelson K said, so happy to see you all tonight, especially you, Mike. You got me charged. And Debbie, our co-executive director or co-director, said, I have the address that Megan added to join the Bulldogs. Reach out to the page after this live. And Tobin Brown said, David Goggins is a badass.
Amen. That's my guy. I love Tobin's my wolf too.
So I know you guys had also mentioned about an event that you guys have I don't know if you mentioned in the live, but isn't there an event you have a run for?
Yeah, every year we have the Run for Recovery. It's usually live in Franklin Park in May. This time we're doing it virtual in May. It's all going to be on their website. It's a 5K. And so we want to get as many people, some families join as a team. I think Jackie's family did last year or the year before. So that's, there's going to be more information about that, but it's called the Run for Recovery. And then afterwards, we have a tribute for people who have lost their lives to addiction. So just letting people know that that grew from maybe, that's an example of, if you just hang in there, like, well, Shelley, we didn't know anything about putting on a road race. We might have had 150 people. Now we had over 600 people the last time.
Wow.
Last year. So, good things just keep happening if you just keep putting effort into it.
Do you have any other events that people want to know, should know about?
We don't have other events, but we have other programs. We have a Junior Bulldogs. We're trying to promote wellness to kids at risk.
Wow.
We go to the Italian home for, we have running programs for kids. We talk to kids that are at risk. We have a big giving back program where we get onto the engagement center and we try to do a lot of fundraising to give back to the community. So giving back to not only to one another in the Bulldogs, but giving back to the community is a really important part of the Bulldogs.
Let's see. And Debbie said, let's go as a team on Saturday. We'll see. And Terry Ford said, happy anniversary, Uncle Michael and Aunt Shelley.
That's my niece from Virginia. I can't believe you guys got such a following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just us. We tagged you in it. And if I know, I should have tagged Conan. So Conan, I can tag you in the video. Oh, do you
I'm
have
not on Facebook. I don't know if that's gonna work.
No, that we can't tag.
I don't do social media, but
If
thank
you're
you. I
not-
appreciate it.
If you're not on Facebook, we can't tag you. Richie, do you got any questions? Is there anything else that you guys kind of wanted to go over, or?
I got a couple questions. I'm just so interested in you guys, just because I think it's a very important gesture, or just to talk to the viewers and just let them know, like, especially from a recovery, in mindfulness and like health. It's like sometimes your mind just whips your ass, and it's like the second you make the decision in the morning, like my mind will start playing tricks with me. It's like, no, just stay in bed longer. I know you want to run, but just 5 more minutes, and then it don't happen. But there's a switch that goes off when you're like, no, we're running, we're going. There's something that goes off in your head, and now your mind doesn't have you have a mind. So it's just really interesting to hear you guys talk about that.
So I got to a point in my life where I was almost too addicted to it. I was using running to like a drug in a way to avoid things.
Mhm.
And that ended up bringing me to insight meditation, which I've been doing for the last 15 years. Not only do we teach mindfulness meditation in the Bulldogs, I go on a meditation retreat every year where we don't talk for like 5 to 8 days. Listen, I couldn't sit still for 2 minutes. But the point is learning to meditate and learning to work with your mind and not engage in things. The first thought that arises in your head, like it's so powerful. The combination of exercise and meditation is so calm, and also, your spiritual practice,
Right.
your 12 steps, that's really everything. It's really recovery is really engaging in a holistic approach. We need a lot of recovery tools. Meditation, mindfulness is really, really important to me. I think the Bulldogs that do meditate are getting a lot of benefit. Because a lot of the things that we're thinking, again, I'm repeating myself, are not based in reality.
Right. I'm a big advocate of meditation. It saved my life when I was in detox, and I had a hit list when I was going to get out, and meditation, I think, saved their lives too, not just my own. Because it's just kind of channeling that. It really, really helped. That's all.
Richie, but you're on the right track with understanding the importance of working with your mind.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you both. I mean,
Yeah.
I had 100 questions for both of you, but both of you guys were spot on and nailed them. So I don't have many more, any more, just because you covered except for one. I would like to know, Coach, what's the longest distance you've ever ran?
Ooh.
Marathons.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I got
25 miles, I would say.
20.
26.
Yeah, 26.
Okay. Awesome.
Do you guys have anything else we can wrap up? And again, magic number was $2 for angels, goes to scholarshiping our angels into safe, reputable, sober living.
Yeah.
Um,
Mikey's quote though. Let's honor Mikey. He's our other co-host.
yeah, Mikey's in Miami, very jealous.
Good, good.
Not in the cold up here with us.
So can I wrote something on our Facebook about Valentine's Day. I want to read it because it relates to mindfulness training. And can I read it? It will take a second.
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to wish all my Bulldogs a happy Valentine's Day. For some of us, it's a special day. For others, it can be a difficult day. The difficulty could be in the narrative we are creating, which goes something like this. I am alone. I have no one special in my life. What's wrong with me? I'm unlovable. I'll never meet someone special. For some of us, not being in a relationship, especially on this day, can be difficult but bearable. The negative narratives we create are what is unbearable and fixed. Try to see these thoughts for what they are, just thoughts. Let go of them and realize your beauty and value to yourself and the world. You see, that's mindfulness in a nutshell.
I love that.
So the suffering is not only I feel lonely, the suffering is all those negative thoughts.
Right.
So if we can witness those thoughts and see them as not real, that I am lovable, that I don't know what the future is going to lie. If I work hard enough, I can meet someone. But so it's what we call in Buddhism meditation, the double arrow. The single arrow is there's suffering. I'm alone today. I wish I wasn't alone. But the next arrow, Richie, is that narrative that I just described.
I love that.
If we practice, and some of us are scared to lean into our emotions and watch our mind, because one of the most scariest things for people is their mind. They're constantly running away from their mind. We are taught that we have to lean into things and not run away from things, because recovery is leaning into what's happening.
Yeah.
That's my little pitch for you. Thank you for letting me read it.
Perfect.
I wanted to tell Conan, you did a great job. Conan's going to be my work with me on outreach. This is his first one.
Awesome.
The coach loves you, man.
Love you guys too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Megan, for your help with Conan.
Thank you, Conan. Yeah, Conan. Awesome.
I need a lot of help. Trust me.
What?
I need a lot of help.
She can help you. She did great. So again, thank you all for joining us. You can continue donating to the Venmo. 2 was the magic number. Will you do Mike's line?
No, you please, you do it.
Okay, so we're gonna end on this line. So and remember, let me see if I can do it as good as Mike.
I'll help you with it if you want.
Okay,
Leave
ready?
the world a better place, but go ahead.
No, go on. You gotta do it then.
You do it. Leave the world a better place than you left it.
I hear
Oh,
you, brother. I hear you.
Thanks, guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Great job. You two guys are awesome, and keep up the good work.
You keep up the good work. And
Richie, I want to see you. I want to see both of you, but I want to see you with the Bulldogs.
Yep, you're gonna see me for sure.
All right.
We'll see if you see me. All right.
Bye, Conan, brother.
See you later, Richie. Nice
Bye,
meeting you,
Coach.
man. Be safe,
Good job,
guys.
guys.